Have you ever felt the adrenaline rush of winning a big sports bet? We've all dreamed of that day when we cash out on a big ticket, but in most cases, you need to have the guts to put it all on the table, stretch out a parlay just long enough, and let it ride to the finish line. From risking $3 million to placing outrageous parlays that would get you laughed at, here are some of the most insane NFL bets ever made. Now, you know we gotta start with one of the most notable sports bettors of all time.
I bet so far $10 million at various sports books.
Mattress Mack has never been afraid of getting money out of his mattress for a big bet. Super Bowl 55 was no different. The Mack recorded one of the largest NFL bets in history.
Largest sports bet ever, $5 million on the Bengals to beat the Rams in the Super Bowl.
He planned to bet so much money that he actually flew to Colorado to place the bet with DraftKings in person. Mattress Mack meant business. The bet was simple. He placed a whopping $3,460,000 on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers to defeat the Kansas City Chiefs in Super Bowl 55. The bet was to win $2,750,000. Well, Mattress Mack made just about the easiest millions of his life, as the Bucs went on to embarrass the Chiefs. The man casually walked out of the casino with over $5 million in cash. Insane! Now, the story doesn't end there. He not only won one of the largest NFL bets ever recorded, but he also used those winnings to give back to the people. Dang, Mr. Mack, spread some of that love this way. Mattress Mack vowed that if the Bucs cashed in on his bet, that he would offer full refunds to any customer that spent more than $3,000 in his gallery furniture stores. That's right, IKEA got nothing on the Mac. Alright, let's be real. Not many of us have $3 million laying under our mattresses, pun intended. So next, we're going to look at one bettor who did the unthinkable with just $100. In the 2022 NFL wildcard round, there was one bettor named Sonny that had a particular rooting interest in certain players. It was not just any group of players though. He picked one player from each of the 6 games that weekend. Sonny made a parlay bet on CJ Uzomah, Gabriel Davis, Rob Gronkowski, Deebo Samuel, Travis Kelce, and Cooper Kupp. If each of these players scored a touchdown at any point in their wildcard games, Sonny would be drinking Mai Tais with Drake and Turks and Caicos. He put just $100 down. Did I forget to mention that the odds of this parlay were plus 27,000? Despite these crazy odds, what happened next would make anyone clinch their you-know-whats. One by one, these players were all scoring touchdowns. It got to the point where Kupp was the last piece of the parlay's puzzle. However, don't underestimate how clever these sportsbooks are. Before the last game started between the Rams and the Cardinals, our pal Sonny here was offered a chance to cash out for just over $12,000. He took the money. Not a bad payday, right? The only problem here is that Kupp is one of the most reliable wide receivers in the NFL. So, of course, he got a touchdown too.
In a pressure situation, I don't know if I have ever seen anybody be better than Matthew Stafford and Cooper Kupp.
That costed our dear pal Sonny a chance of winning just over $15 million. I guess it wasn't so sunny in his household that day. While we give our friend Sonny some space back there, let's jump over to another long parlay story. This time, the stakes were much higher, with the original bet being $30,000. One bettor named Marco created a 5-leg parlay with $30,000 that had plus 3,900 odds to hit. The Rams covered a plus 9.5 point spread against the Ravens. The Bengals beat the Chiefs outright, a sign of things to come a few weeks later. The Chargers beat the Broncos outright, and the Cardinals beat the Cowboys outright. Things are looking good for our boy Marco, right? Well, plot twist. We have to go back to college to complete this one. The last leg of the parlay was the national championship game between Georgia and Alabama. This had a great setup to it. The last time these two teams met in the championship, Alabama walked away with the victory. Earlier this season, Alabama upset Georgia in the SEC championship when the Bulldogs had a 94% handle to cover the minus 6.5 point spread. So, not many people would blame Marco here if he were to cash out and take home just under $625,000. but Marco stuck to his guns. Well, Georgia ended up getting the W over Alabama, and Marco ended up with taking home over $1.2 million. Sometimes you really just have to let it ride. And you also have to like and subscribe to our channel to keep riding with our videos. While some let it ride, others go all in from the start. Before sports betting was legal in most of the states that it is today, CBS Sports claims that one bettor named Taylor had a near-perfect week back in 2015. The initial bet was just a measly $5, but after going on a 14-0 winning streak on the spreads, Taylor ended up winning $100,000. For good measure, she added one more over-under bet for that parlay as well. The only time Taylor really had to sweat was a Steelers-Broncos game, where she needed Pittsburgh to win by at least 6. They won by 7. Experts have a hard time even getting half of these games right in a week. Call it luck or call it skill, Taylor clapped them for a nice 6 figures. But as impressive as Taylor's bets were, there's one bet that required someone to be even more perfect. So far, you've seen winning against the spread, you've seen winning the parlays, and you've even seen touchdown scores. But what if you were to take this even further and predict the perfect score? That's exactly what this next bettor dared to do. During the 2022 Conference Championship games, it was the Bengals versus Chiefs in the AFC, and the 49ers versus the Rams in the NFC. This bettor not only decided to pick who would win both of these games, they would also pick the exact score of both of these games and made it a parlay. It's hard to imagine getting one score exactly right, let alone both. The odds back this up, with the AFC Championship score odds being plus 22,000 and the NFC Championship score odds being plus 13,000. In a single parlay, this added up to a plus 2,895,000. Yeah, I had the same look on my face. The sportsbook had a good laugh, as it would have taken a miracle to get these score combinations right. Well, guess who got the last laugh? Both scores came in exactly as they predicted. The initial bet was $20, so the bettor made off with just over $579,000. Unfortunately, there was one catch in what would be argued as one of the greatest NFL bets of all time. You see, this bet was made on a sign-up bonus offer on FanDuel. That meant that the bettor was not allowed to cash this money out of the sportsbook right away, and had to place those winnings on other bets. Hopefully, they ended up having some more luck on their side. So, what do you think of these insane NFL bets? Would you have had the guts to let it ride out like Marco? Pick every spread like Kayla? Or pick exact scores like our last bettor? Or would you have pulled a Sonny and had a small shower of cash? If you like what you see here, check out our next video for some insane NFL content.